ads. They were movies that I did for no money. I still remember when I met Imtiaz Ali for the first time. He's a big guy, right? A big director, had done Hum Tum and all those movies, right? And he was a big acclaimed director. And I walk into his room in Sajid Nadiadwala's office, and there is a Imtiaz Ali and Ranbir Kapoor sitting. Now Ranbir Kapoor is deadly looking, like he's just six generations of lineage and healthy eating and great life and just amazing upbringing and pampered and just the the works.
The
He gets,
aura, yeah.
just he's a beautiful man. And so Imtiaz introduces, hi, he's Jeeveshu, he's going to play the role of Chadda. And Ranbir stretches his hand out and says, hi, my name is Ranbir. I said, you don't have to introduce. He said, yeah, I have to. If this guy has to introduce himself, then the learning I got was I would never, ever, ever take it for granted that somebody will know me. So whenever I do a show, and you will see it everywhere, whenever I do a show on a live station, I always meet everyone. And when they come and get a picture clicked, I always take my hand out, shake hands, and I tell them my name is Jeeveshu.
Superb.
I always do.
Love
That's
that.
my first learning. Yeah. Second one was when and so Imtiaz said, why don't you go and talk to the production guys about the money? And I said, Are mujhe iske paise milenge? You need to do the work. As I said, it's the last point, like paycheck. Paisa milega to great hai. I just want to be part of. You realize if I'm dead tonight, I will still live in that movie forever. Forever.
Absolutely.
No denying that. There is no denying it. Nobody can take that away. You can take my house away. You can take the movie. You can take anything away. You can't undo something which is out there. You just can't. So for me, I wanted to be a part of that thing in whatever small little way it was. And money came with it. I was like, yeah, sure. I'm not going to say no. They said we like whatever. So I think I quoted so low that they did not even want to negotiate. You say, please show like kitna make 5,000 rupees. Like something like I think I said about 3,000 rupees, something like that I said. या 5,000 रुपए या so he said आपके टोटल 14,000 रुपए होते हैं या कुछ ऐसे 10 दिन का मैंने कुछ 1,000 रुपए पर डे टाइप कुछ बोला था. This yeah, that's fine. So um, and those 10 days I used to just get up with a beaming smile, one earlobe to the other earlobe. Shooting में जाना है. Like you know, I think I was burning more money doing that rather than earning. Like मैं अपनी गाड़ी लेके जाता था, पेट्रोल खाना, मैंने अच्छे अच्छे कपड़े खरीदे, बल्कि मैं कॉस्ट्यूम सारा दिन कॉस्ट्यूम पहना, मैं कहता चेंज करके तो भी अच्छा लगना चाहिए ना. आई एम एन एक्टर नाउ.
Yeah.
so that is what. So I think why you answered paycheck should be the last part. So that is those two things work amazingly well. So that is what I learned from these movies. And the last part was never ever criticize somebody's work, because even to make an absolute hellhole of a movie, it takes massive effort.
Completely.
Massive effort, and it runs a lot of houses. So when you shit on people, remember, some days you're the statue and some days you're the pigeon.
Wow, that's amazing said. This is a good line. I like
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
you're a statue, someday you're a pigeon. So don't shit on people. You don't know what is the story.
Well
So
said,
आपसे
Jeeveshu.
घटिया पिक्चर जो भी आपने देखी उसमें बहुत मेहनत लगी थी, और सबसे अच्छे में भी बहुत मेहनत लगी थी. It's very to sit in a cinema hall eating that 250 रुपए का पॉपकॉर्न, क्या कूड़ा बनाया है. Yeah. So that's what I
Very well
learned.
said. Very well said.
Yeah.
Hard work needs to be respected for sure. And, someone's love and passion has gone into it and whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And as I was saying, I was also feeling good when you're saying that you said that earlier in the show. You're living in my book as well. So that's beautiful.
Yes. So exactly. So when you reached out, I always said, this is it. That page 72 is always mine. Always mine. Always.
Always.
I can be a serial killer tomorrow morning. Page 72 is mine. You understand what I'm saying?
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm too lazy to be serial killer. You have to get out, dress up. I think I can't be serial killer. I'm too organized for it. I'll be too like.
You will kill people with your humor. You can be. You will kill people with your humor.
I'll just take them out for a coffee or maybe like a beer or something. Like, हाँ, चलो हम घूमने चलते हैं. Yeah, much of a people pleaser to kill somebody. Yeah. So yeah.
So Jeeveshu, what's your little bit of a tangential question? What was your worst fear, or is your worst fear in life? Is there a one?
That my mother will die at some point and I will be alone. That's the only fear because I can't control it. I can
Yeah.
control it. I can control everything else.
Hmm.
So I'm a guy who likes to control everything, everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Finances, work, health, house, anything. My biggest fear is
Yeah.
my mother. That's the only fear I have. Rest, everything is not even worthy of a fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you this question: Can you promise me you'll get up tomorrow morning?
No, no, not even the next second. We don't know our breaths. Every breath is blessed.
Correct. So it's a very old saying. बड़ी नादान सी चीज है ये इंसान. कल का पता नहीं वो वादे बरसों के करता है. So same. So I don't control anything, but that is one thing I hate not to be able to control. That one day she will,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
don't want.
No, I know how you're feeling on that, and
That's it.
absolutely I get your point. And
But
thanks for
no
being
fear
so
about work.
open.
I have no fear about work. No fear.
Hmm.
I got married in
Hmm.
December. I still remember when COVID happened. My finances took a hit. My job is to gather large gatherings, right? During COVID, I can't do that. I walked up to my mother. My mother wasn't even concerned. She said, "जब तक तू जिंदा है, तब तक मुझे पता है तू भूखा नहीं मरेगा." There's no way I can die of hunger. There is no way. If you die of hunger, you are actually dying of lack of willpower. That's what you're dying of. You're not dying of hunger. Unless you're physically and emotionally disabled at some point that you can't even get out of whatever you have. Like अगर आप एक ही जगह पे पड़े हो तो शायद आप नहीं कर पाते कुछ या आपका दिमाग ना चले तो मेरे को समझ में आता है लेकिन अगर आप दिमाग ठीक है और हाथ पैर में अगर दम है तो फिर अगर उसके बावजूद आप भूखे और गरीब हो तो फिर
I'll just
there's no
get
point.
on that. See, recently I've been talking to a lot of people, and there are two kinds of people: people who have lost their jobs, and people who are worried about losing their jobs. And both have taken this thing with in two ways. One is someone lost a job and got fired, like even before COVID, and has dealt with it in a certain way that he got into learning, got into yoga, kept kind of building his energy, and kept focusing and building network. And voila, he has got a job like a week back, and he's really happy about it. And his job which he wanted always to get. There's another set of people I talked to, and they have just broken down completely. They got depressed, and they said, I never thought it's going to hit me in my life, and I have mortgages, I have things to solve and sort out in my life, and what will I do? And they're not doing anything about it. They're so depressed, right? Now, the issue is when you just said that, it struck me that people can take life in two ways. One is do something about it, or just blame life about it, right?
Yeah.
Um, do you think, through this conversation, what we're having is because you said something very unique out there that, unless you are mentally and physically,
Incapacity.
unfortunately,
From, yeah,
yeah, you can get and go and do something. But
yeah.
people, just get worried about even doing a little bit something because they say, this is I can only do this much. I can't do anything else. Goes back to earlier conversation as well.
So they're
What's
not
your
worried.
advice to those?
They're not
Hmm?
worried. They're ashamed. They're not worried. हम अपना
Hmm.
छोटा सो आई एम लाइक अ थर्ड डिवीजन ग्रेजुएट तो मैंने इतनी पढ़ाई करी है कि मैं पियो नहीं लग सकता और इतनी पढ़ाई करी नहीं कि सीईओ बन जाऊंगा तो काबिलियत मेरे अंदर जीरो है लेकिन समझने और सोचने की जो क्षमता है ना थॉट प्रोसेस ऑफ थिंक एंड ऑब्जर्व एंड प्रॉब्ली इम्प्लीमेंट इज जीरो सो एनीथिंग दैट इज लोअर देन माई लेवल एज पर मी with me like chest thumping me is mediocre than my life standard to do. It's not that I don't have the fear of doing it, is I'm ashamed to do it. ऊपर का काम हमें मिलता नहीं क्योंकि सब कोविड में सबका काम खत्म हो गया एंड द प्रॉब्लम इज दैट so whenever you keep doing this ki people have broken down and why did it happen to me, I never expected this to happen to me. When things were going right, did you question why did you deserve it? You can't undo it. Okay, if a job is defining you, then I'm sorry, you don't have any existence. You should be defining the job. You should be a great cashier. You should be a great beautician. You can't be a beautician who is great.
Yeah.
Like Jeeveshu should be a good comedian, not a comedian who is Jeeveshu.
Very well said. Very well
You're
said.
saying, right? So it's just that. So if your existential crisis kicks in because you lost a job, then you never had an existential crisis to, you never had an existence to begin with. So existential crisis always existed. You're just observing it now
Yeah.
because आपके पास
Yeah.
time है. Is likely because आपके पास time है और अपने दिमाग से भागने की कोशिश कर रहे थे नौकरी करते हुए, और कोई नहीं भाग सकता. You can't run away from your mind. If you start running away from your mind, the world is a very small place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It all sits in there completely, completely. Excellent. So, Jeeveshu, I have something very interesting to ask you. What's the secret which we don't know right now about you? What is the next gig you're on to? Anything you want to hide away from the world? You want to share? Is anything surprises coming up at your end? I'm sure your mind is
Work-wise,
active.
everything is down and out right now. Work-wise, there is nothing. Work-wise, there is nothing new that I can possibly be is worth hiding, so to say. Currently, it's in the survival mode. I'm doing everything that I possibly can. Um, Personally, I think I'm giving a lot of time and attention to what I want to build relationships with. Like, I visited my family, and I realized three of my family members suffer from mental disabilities, and I had not seen them in the longest time. And when I saw so this is my mama and mami ji. My mami ji has schizophrenia, and her two kids, one has some level of schizophrenia, some another level has some other level of schizophrenia. And I always looked at my mama and he's a real mama, right? When I say real mama, is like मेरी माँ का सगा भाई. I always looked at him कि ठीक है कुछ चीजें जिंदगी में सही नहीं होती, but to live with three people who constantly doubt and suspect you, who constantly figure out that you're out there to harm them and to take care of them, आप दिमागी संतुलन तो छोड़ दो, समझदार लोग ना करें किसी और के लिए.
Bilkul,
So I'm trying to
bilkul.
build those things. I'm being thankful about those. So I'm visiting those. I'm meeting people who are less fortunate than I am, and telling them that they're not alone. That's what I'm doing. And I am too late in doing this probably, but again, as it said, it's never too late to start at least. So I'm beginning to go ahead that ways. So I'm meeting my relatives. I'm meeting my family. I spend time with my mother. I spend time with my wife. Spend time with my dog. Spend time with myself. And whatever work comes in, I'm happy. My finances are in place. I have food to eat. I have water to take a bath in. Good clothes to wear. I'm talking to you. What else? I mean, I'm sorted. So I hope,
Beautiful.
hopefully something will come. So I'm not looking at the bigger thing, smaller, smaller, and hopefully in
That's the
Dubai.
way.
Yeah, yeah, hopefully in Dubai soon.
Oh, absolutely. You bet. I shared your last show with few people here in my network, and they really loved it. So I see a new blend of humor you're picking up on now from you're cutting away from your previous
Yeah,
core humor to another blend of humor you're mixing in.
correct, correct, correct. It's always good to learn, no?
How do you think about that? What do you do in the background? Do you do some uh, where does that sense of inspiration come from daily life, or what do you do about it?
Yeah, so there are two types of comics. One who are fictional writers, like people who write fiction and they imagine. I'm absolutely useless in that. I have zero imagination. And I think I don't have any talent to write that. People who do enactment of characters and they do mimicry are brilliantly talented people, brilliantly talented. The other side of comics is that when people who are observational comics, anecdotal comics, storytelling comics. So I do comedy which I've either witnessed, experienced, or observed. So my arena is very limited, but comedy as art form is an exaggeration of everything that you go through. So I keep my ears and eyes open about everything, right? And so it is my mother or my wife or my gym trainer or somebody in my friend list, whoever. They say something and I say, how do I put it? You've written a book, right? How many of your friends have written a book?
Yeah, I got to know about that only when I wrote the book. A lot of people said it's a big thing. I never realized I'm doing something which was
Yeah.
unique. Absolutely.
How did it
Yeah.
come to you about? Like, how did it come about? Like, did you go through a like 9-hour course how to write a book, or did it just come to you?
It just came like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So it comes like that. I keep things just register. It just registers. Like I was shooting the other day, and for this ad called Adda 52, and there was this person who called one of my spot dada, the one who takes care of your food and drinks during the shoot. And he was talking to his relative, and I said कि मेरे कुछ लोगों के relatives ऐसे होते हैं जो encourage करते हैं कि अरे बहुत अच्छा किया बेटा. मेरे relatives ऐसे कि आपका बेटा आवारा है. you know. So obviously I'm exaggerating. It's not the conversation that he had, but I have gone through that conversation when I was young. But that thing came back to my mind because I was looking for that thing. So to answer that question, I'm always looking at a fun element, and you get what you look for. ढूंढने से भगवान मिल जाते हैं, ये तो कॉमेडी है.
Good
You know,
quip. Good one, Jeeveshu. Good one. Jeeveshu, this is a coffee show, like I said, and this has been amazing. I hope people take a lot away from this.
hopefully.
Um, Before we wrap up, I have to ask you, uh, make you like a guru for a second. So and say that if you were to give, and you said a lot of interesting things, but if you pick one word of success mantra for people
Yeah,
in very simple one sentence,
correct.
what would be that for people to absorb from you?
So I used to joke about this thing. I say, you know what an epitaph is, right? Like the stone
Yeah.
that you put on a grave.
Hmm.
Figure out what you want the epitaph to read about you,
Hmm.
and work
Hmm.
backwards to make it happen. Because if you don't work backwards to make it happen, your epitaph will read whatever people want it to read. So,
Awesome.
thank you.
That's Jeeveshu.
Yeah,
Superb.
thank you so
Superb.
much.
Jeeveshu, big thanks to you for taking out time. I know you're a busy man, but a very humble man, and that's what I have always known you to be. But more importantly, I wish you humongous success in your current avatar and what you're trying to do. And I also think you have the huge potential to be, someone who can mentor people and help people, guide people in their lives. Because such beautiful words, such beautiful analogies, you brought on the show. I know there's, I can tell you, I'm not talking about the HR guy as a human to human, someone who's known you for long. Truly proud as a friend, as a someone who's observed you, your career, what you've done with yourself, and I really wish people can learn from what you said today.
Thank
So big thanks to you, and we will stay connected, dear listeners, viewers. I'm hoping to also convert this show into podcast very soon. I would look all of you to remember one thing, that life comes in parts and thoughts and moments and minutes and hours. It doesn't come in one full deal. And if you can live every moment, every minute, every hour of it, just like Jeeveshu was saying earlier in the show, and punch in the most, your best self into every minute, every
you. Correct.
60 second, every hour in that moment, and not be fearful about what is going to hit you, what's going to help. Be watchful, be smart about, don't be stupid. Like I loved when he said, someone who's not even learned to save money through his life, even if he's earning 100 rupees, you can't save something about it. Now, circumstances could be bad, good, but over a period of time, you should be smart enough. You're vagrant about your own earnings, your own money, your own life, then no one can help you. But if you're someone who gets the basics right, you definitely have a formula there. So, Jeeveshu, it's amazing to have you there once again, and thank you so much. We'll keep connected. We'll talk soon again,
Thank you.
and all the very big success for your movies to come, your ads to come, and keep people laughing for as long as you want to make them laugh. So, God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.